going on YouTube? What's going on, people? What's going on to the world? First of all, I want to wish everybody good luck that plays poker, and I want to wish everybody success, blessings, and achievement. You know, second of all, I want to speak a little bit about those who got negative comments. Ignorant is bliss. Period. Other than that, what I have to say is always going to be stronger than the negativity or the negative comments. If you experience what I experienced and you know how the game goes, that's what it is. Third, I want to speak more about poker in totality. And what I mean by that is the private rooms and the casinos. I'm telling all you players who are really good, who know how to play the game, you know how things are supposed to go. Online poker is dangerous. If you are not contributing to the status quo, if you're not giving these companies money, Poker Bros, Club WPT, Ignition, Bet Online, if you're not putting good sized money on their sites and being a source of income for these sites, you're gonna get robbed. I'll tell you that right now. You're gonna get robbed. They're gonna turn around and they're gonna do you dirty. So at the end of the day, I'm telling you, stay away from online poker. Online poker is just too risky. See, I don't put so much money on these sites because look, if I can't win in free rolls or can't win in low buy-ins, what makes me think that I can actually win in a higher buy-in? Well, let's be honest. If you're gonna cheat me with the low, you're gonna cheat me with the high. So it's stupid of me to put my money into the lows, right? And then go to the highs when they're cheating me on the lows. Now, private poker rooms. One of my followers or one of the viewers made a comment, and he is so correct. He said, look, it's better to play live, but play at establishments you trust. There's not many that I trust so far. And why is that? Because I don't care what anybody say. You know what kind of world we live in. I don't need to spell it out to you. So when I come into a private establishment and the majority of the players are white, and I'm this tall, huge, big, muscle, solid black man coming to sit down and play poker, and I look street, I got on a fitted hat, which most players are dressed the way I dress anyway, but it's just the way I look. It's the energy, and it's the focus. It's my attention to detail and the way I calculate and the way I speak when I play. They feel like I am a player who can actually win big money at their establishments and take from players that's been bringing money to their establishments for a long time. If you got Jim, Bob, and Joe, and Jim, Bob, and Joe has been playing at your establishment for X amount of years, they're regulars. And then you got this new guy who comes in and he is fucking solid. He is sharp and he is dangerous at playing. You cannot allow him to just, take that bread, take that money out of their hands. And I learned something today. Like I said, I was playing live. This time I won't say where I was playing at because I figured I learned something else. I learned something very deep, and you're looking at somebody who's going to be very, very successful, period. I'm already successful, but I'm going to be very successful to the public. But at the end of the day, I want to give good energy. I ain't speaking bad on nobody, and I ain't throwing dirt on nobody because you have to account for that. At the end of the day, I watch the rotation. First, they put you at a table with a dealer that is pretty good. If you show that you can maneuver and get out of harm's way with the cards that dealer deals you, and you can still hit players for a big amount of chips, they either move you to another table or they bring in another dealer who's far more advanced at finger fucking the cards. That's what I call it, because that's what you're doing, right? But if you show that you can outmaneuver, they usually have 4 dealers. So far, I've seen the same setup in every spot. They got like 4 dealers minimum, right? And all these dealers are good, but they got that one dealer who's he's a trickster. It's like a magician with the cards. I kid you not. He can pull off the most illest type of hands on that table. Now, people may say, you might have those that say, that's bullshit. You can't do all of that. You can't cheat in poker. But that's where you're wrong at. You can set the deck and you can cause different hands and action to take place on that table. Especially when you are a magician with cards, you are somebody who has the magician archetype. See, this is gonna go way over the heads of those who don't have knowledge that what I have. I have the archetype magician. If you look online and pick archetypes that you are, according to your zodiac, astrology, and all these different things, it will show you what type you are. And you know it's true because your characteristics is like that. My archetype is the magician. And it's a no-brainer. It's what I do. I love cards. It's what I do. That's my world. When this dealer sat down, I automatically felt it. I was like, yo, this guy's a trickster. And he is really good at fucking with these cards. And sure enough, see, I got something that I'm gonna bring with me. I'm gonna show y'all something because I couldn't do it, but now I bought something. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it straight out. I'm gonna be sitting there playing and you're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. You're gonna be like, oh shit, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, this is what I've been trying to say. And the reason why I'm putting it on blast is because I don't like cheating, man. I don't like that shit. Like, I'm one of those straight up type of dudes. Like, that's just how I am. I'm like old school cloth. If you think you're better than me, prove it. I'm like Michael Jordan. If you think you're better than me, prove it. But I'm gonna prove to you I'm better than you, period. I'm gonna bring my A game to the table. I'm not bringing no sucker shit. Nowadays, because there's so much foul play and scamming and cheating going on, motherfuckers just bringing cheating to the table now. Like Mike Apostle, he brought some software where he got caught. He was always looking in his phone. He was always doing shit with his phone, and he was just winning monster hands and making the most impossible folds. And then he got put on blast. He got caught. And now when you go to the casinos, you cannot have your phone on the table. You will lose your money and be asked to leave the casino. That's how serious it got. Because they started that shit. They started fucking around with the cards and cheating and scamming players and paying off other players who bring big money to their establishment. And that's what these little side private organizations is doing. All they did was take a page out of the casino book and incorporate it in their own style and world of play. And that's why I say you gotta watch it. Because tonight, I was able to get through all of the dealers except for that one motherfucker. And I ran against him twice and I realized it. And I'll tell you, he's the type of dealer that do shit like this. He'll shuffling and he'd be like, and I'm talking about he flipping cards around. I ain't never seen nobody flip a card, like make a card turn horizontally. Usually you see people shuffle the cards, they do the bridge, you know what I mean? They make, you know what I mean? Cut it, that's it. This dude is slick with it. I'm talking about he be doing this like layers, but he'll do the layers where the card will flip, it'll spin. Yo, he is so nice with the deck, I kid you not. Yo, he shuffled, and in the middle of the shuffle, he slid the deck right into the cut card. Like glide the deck into the cut card. When I seen that, I said, yo, I didn't know there was dudes that was that nice with the cards. Like, I know there's dudes that's nice. My brother is nice with it. Like I told you, he knew how to set the deck in spades and deal everybody spades. And everybody else got face cards and him and his partner got spades. That's when I got hip to it, like, oh shit, you got mechanics. But this dude that's at this establishment is on a whole nother level. And I ain't gonna front. When I go back to play, 'cause I'm going back this week, Once they put him at my table, I'm gonna let him know, like, yo, look, I ain't got no disrespect or nothing like that to the establishment, but let me play. If I'm at this table, let me play. Let me go against the best. Don't finger fuck the cards in front of me. Don't do all that shit, man. Just do a basic fucking shuffle and let us play. And if you got a problem with that, then that means you confessing that you do some slick shit and you robbing fucking players. You robbing great players to keep them out of the fucking money. And any player here who got a problem with that, that means you in on the shit. And I'm that type of dude. I'm outspoken. Like when I see the sucker shit coming, I take a stance. I ain't the type of nigga that'll bite down. I'm sorry. I'm the type that will call it out. Like, nah, man. Same thing today. They put me at the seat where I know all that slick shit come. I was like, nah, I ain't trying to sit here. I went right up to the front like, yo, I need to sit somewhere else. Let me get another seat. Oh, we don't got another seat. We only got these 2 seats. You got that one. Thank you. Took the cart and went and sat there. And I made it all the way to the final 2 tables. Because I know what they do. I know how they move now. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's sucker shit. To me, that's sucker shit. You in the house of thieves where niggas is stealing and cheating you, man. Now, me, I'm a hustler. So I'm always going to be around that shit. But you going to keep it 100 with me, fam. That's just how it is. And this dude right here, he's a beast. And I want to put that out there to you people, to you players who go there trying to get your hustle on, trying to do your thing. But watch these slick finger ass motherfuckers. Watch them. If a dealer could spin cards and do all this crazy stuff, you already know that you at the fix. And if you don't say something, you need to get up. And if you can't get up, then you about to get played. And if you're gonna get played and let them play you like that, you might as well just leave. Don't say nothing. Don't even, because I feel like if you're not man enough to stand your ground, then there's no sense of talking about it because you're just gonna look stupid and they're gonna continue to do their thing. See, me is different. Me is different. If I come out and I speak on something and I put that shit out there, everybody knows. Because the way I speak, I break it down and make it clear to where there is no doubt. You can't say, and if anybody speaks against it, it's automatic. You automatically showing yourself to be one who's in on it. And who gonna do what to me? I don't got no fear when I move like that. It is what it is. If I know I'm right, I'm down to die for mine when I know I'm right. But if I'm in the wrong, I ain't even on it like that. Shit goes south, all right, I let the shit go. You know what I mean? Because I know I'm in the wrong anyway. But when I'm in the right, nigga, nah. I die for mine when I'm in the right. So at the end of the day, if you're not that type of person, don't do it. Just leave the shit alone. But I just want to let you know, live poker is the best way to go about it. But the bad news is, there ain't a lot of places that are legit. They're scheming. And if they see that you are a really fucking good player and you have your intuition be on point like mine's, you just know the fix is coming. The fix is coming. They're gonna send their best dealer to you. And that best dealer is like today. We was about to get to that final table. I knew I had to play a beat pre-flop. This is the scenario. Dealt me 8s, snowman. He raised all in. Mind you, I got 16,000 in chips left. He raised all in. He has about, I think, 22, 23, 24,000. I was sitting there and I'm thinking, the one thing that slipped my mind at that moment was the fucking dealer. That's the one thing that slipped my mind. I made a mental note, but I forgot about it. When I got into the heat of the action, I was concentrating more on whether I knew I got to play a beat because I'm intuitive emotionally. I could just feel. Just like when I called another player, I called the player with King 10. I sat and thought for a quick second. And I'm like, don't feel right. I feel like I got you. Like you're trying to push everybody off the pot. I called him all in. He had Jack 10, I had King 10. I took down a huge hand, kept myself alive. And it's funny because there's no coincidence. And shit don't just happen. As soon as I caught that big hand, a hand later, they went and sent that dealer to the table. So that's another sign that I should have took and was like, yo, I gotta slow down. I gotta let them take each other out, make it to the final table, and then get my stabs in when I got the best hand. But instead, I was concentrating on the player, and I knew, I said, yo, you raised all in, and you in small blind. You in the worst position. I'm in a better position than you. And so I'm thinking, I know I got him. But I still felt uneasy. And that's the intuition. That's the intuitive side that is talking to you. When you feel like things just don't feel right, doesn't even matter, even though everything looks good on the outside, that means something is happening that you ain't seeing, it's hidden from you. And still I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm all in. He flips over Queen 10. It's like, I knew I had this dude beat. Yeah? Look how the flop turned out. The flop came 6, 8. I hit my 8, gave me trips, right? And then a king, right? And then on the river, on the turn, a jack. And so meanwhile, I'm like, oh, good shit. I needed that bailout. But everybody else is looking like, oh, they see the fix. And if I didn't know any better, most of them players that play there on a regular basis, they know. This dude was like, damn. But at the same time, he did not seem rattled. Like, he didn't seem like, fuck, that was a good fucking call against me. It was like a stage, like, oh, damn. But you still look focused. You still look like you know something that I don't know. And then look on the river. You can't make this shit up, fam. You can't make this shit up. That's why I got something that I'm gonna take with me so I could show y'all inside shit. And y'all gonna be like, whoa, what the fuck is that? I'm like, exactly. And guess what the river was? A fucking ace. You can't make this shit up. An ace. And this is the second time he did it. If you check my other video, I said the one guy, he did the same shit to me. On the river, he fucking flipped. He was like this. It's funny too, because he's like, last card. And the way he laid it down, it was like a magician, how they do shit with their hand. And it's like, now you see it, now you don't. He did that same shit. And it was like ace. And I was like, what the fuck? I had the dumb look on my face like, yo, what the fuck was that? And mind you, I had queens. I had a pair of queens and I was winning the whole way. It was a massive pot. And it was right before the break. And you know how that sucker shit go, but I was winning. And that last card, he was like, because everybody was like, oh, it's over, you got this. And he's like, nah, there's one more card left. It's the way he said it, like, what the fuck you mean one more card left? Like, the way he said it, like, nah, watch this. And so it's like, all right, that was the first time. The second time, I didn't put it together. Now I got you, but at the end of the day, I'm the type that need to reflect and recall all the details so I know what's going on. And sure enough, yo, he pulled that motherfucking ace again. He was like, and then when he did it, check the slick shit, right? When he did the fucking ace, he took the cards and he scooped them all up. And passed all the chips to him. I was like, yeah. The look on my face is like, but you know what I said? I was like, yo, good game. They was like, damn, that's crazy, man. Had to be a bad beat. I said, yeah, that's normally how it go. That's how it go. No one ever outplays me on the table. The only way I get bumped from tournaments or get hit hard in cash games is these fucking miracle cards that always seem to happen. If it happens once in a while, okay, I get it. That's poker. Shit gonna happen. I kid you not, it's gonna happen. But when it happens all the time, when you're up and you're about to advance and you're that close and they do that shit to you, that's not a coincidence, my dude. If you learn and study the universal law, the laws that teaches nothing happens by coincidence. Everything happens by planning. Somebody planned it and put things in motion for the outcome to happen the way it did. So when you think, nah, it's a coincidence, nah, that's just bad luck. No, it ain't. That saying, it's a game of chance. No. So whether you had the right preparation for it or you had the wrong preparation for it, but one way or another, somebody made the right preparation, and that's why they won or they got paid off well. And so that's what I'm saying. You gotta watch yourself. You gotta watch when they do that slick shit. And I'm gonna put that shit on blast all day long. And I got a lot of viewers and a lot of comments that be asking me about this stuff, and they be saying, look, we got the one dude that says Poker Bros fucked his life up for 6 months. And when I seen that, I said, damn. I felt for you. I don't even know who you is, and I felt for you. Because I already know what that shit feel like. 6 months, that means he been getting cheated and done dirty with all these funny style shit. All this running shit. All this miracle shit you see. No. That shit is rigged like a motherfucker. That shit ain't no miracle, it's rigged. But me, see, I like going against. I'm kind of like the underdog. I like the odds. I like when the odds are stacked. I play my best and I'm more focused when I'm already expected to lose. And that's what happened today. I made it this far, because I played strategy. I went in with all strategy and didn't expect any of the cards to go the way it was supposed to, except for that last moment where I felt like I knew I had to do beat. I think I wanted to confirm more that I was solid on my reading. And that's where, the weakness came in. Relying too much on the knowing, or not saying the knowing, but just relying too much on what you see and not what you feel. And that's what they always say. They always say, trust your gut. One guy that I was listening to, he's real sharp, man. He's definitely sharp. He's a guru. But I like to keep certain things in because I like to have information for myself and not everybody to know, because nobody is looking to share and drop with me like that. But I'm going to drop it with you. But that's just something I like to keep to myself. He basically was like, if it don't feel right, he said, if something don't feel right, you should let it go. Because if you got to think about it long enough, that means it's a bad situation. It really is. If you got to take long to think about something and it just doesn't feel right, don't add up, yeah, that's because it ain't adding up. And you're about to make a move that you're going to sit back later on and be like, yeah, I shouldn't have did that. Yeah, you shouldn't have. So at the end of the day, most of what I was doing to help my intuition was listening to that advice. As soon as I felt like something wasn't right, I let it go. Only that one time. And I think more is because I really wanted to win. Like I really wanted that bigger. I knew if I had hit that pot, I was solid. I knew I was into the money. There's nothing you can do. Once I make that kind of money, or that kind of chips where I got about 30,000, 32, 33,000, and the blinds is only 500 and 1,000, I'm gonna skate on you. The big blinds, I'm gonna defend those if they're proper. Other than that, if they're not, I'll fold. But I'm gonna skate. I'm gonna let everybody take each other out unless I got aces and I got kings. I won't even try you like that with queens, because I'm thinking about position and I'm thinking about being the last man standing in a tournament and winning the money. So if I gotta sacrifice a hand to come into the money, I'm gonna do so. I mean, you gotta look at it, you gotta be smart. You're playing this game, what you playing it for? You playing it for the money. So if you playing it for the money, you gotta be smart enough to know, I'm gonna let that go. But in this situation, they was chiseling me. I had already took a bad beat before that hand, where I had a pair on the board. I had a pair of tens. Dude called me all in. I knew he was taking a shot at me. I felt like I might have had him. But for some reason, I felt like, yo, if I call you and I got you, I feel like you're still gonna pick it up, on the river or the turn, and that's gonna ultimately end my tournament. So I folded. I was like, I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna wait for it to come back around, and I did. And that King 10 versus Jack 10 was the come around. But in this situation, I'm watching the other table and half of my table, and they are 25 to 30,000 plus. Like the average chip stack is 30,000 plus. The other players got 80,000 to 100,000 in chips. If I'm gonna have any chance at being able to spar with them, I'm gonna need my chips up. And that's mainly why I took the go, even though I realized it might not be a smart idea to fucking call that shit. But I did, and I knew I had him beat, and so I got the moral of the story. I realized. Now, had I just folded, like I was second guessing or leaning on second option 2 to fold, I fold that and I lose a nice portion of my chips, which will leave me short stack and only have one move to play. When you're short stack and you pretty much only have 1, 2, 3 blinds left, there's only one play that you can play. You ain't bluffing nobody and you ain't outplaying nobody. It's either you all in or you fold. And when you got aggressive players or players who are experienced and they looking to take players out so that they can, move up in a position and get to the money, they gonna try you. I don't give a fuck who you are. You could be Phil Ivory, you could be Danny Negreanu, you could be any fucking legendary star. You sit at that table with short stack and you push all in, you better believe somebody looking to call you. Especially if the price is right. If a nigga sitting there with 3 times, 4 times the amount of chips that you got, they gonna call in the blink. And you know what he gonna say when he call you? Good luck. But good luck. And everybody like, yeah, good luck, all in. And when they say that shit, it's like a taboo. It's like, nigga, don't do that. You know what I mean? I respect it, but that it's almost like a taboo when you tell a player good luck and then some bullshit happening on the table. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to bring that out. I wanted to let y'all know. Just be careful when you're fucking around with these private poker halls. And I've seen some gameplay at the casinos, the Bellagio, the Bicycle. They don't really have the card shuffler. So the dealer shuffles the card, but he does a standard shuffle. He takes the cards and he shuffles it to the corners 3 times. And then he gives it one cut and then put the cut card and he deals. So it is completely random. I've seen dealers at WinStar finger fuck the cards. And mind you, when you play tournament, it's the card shuffler. But when you play cash game, it's the dealer shuffling the cards. And so the motherfucking dealers be doing all that funny shit. Like there's an Asian bald-headed or Chinese dealer. If you play at WinStar a lot, you know exactly who I'm talking about. He always talking about he got bad luck. He be missing out on the big bets and this and that and the third. Watch how he shuffle those cards. You see him, he do all this trick shit with those cards. And he served bad beats like it's the finest cuisine you ever had in your fucking life. I kid you not. I'd be like, what the fuck? I'm like, yo, how you just dealt this quad, bullshit going against, top aces or aces crack or ace. He just does that. He's just nice with it. So at the end of the day, you gotta watch yourself. You know what I mean? Like these dealers are out there and they made me a believer because at first I really didn't believe it. I'm not even gonna sit here and be capping. I'm gonna be honest, like I didn't believe that shit. I heard about him. I was like, yeah, ain't nobody really nice with, rigging the deck. And then I'm like, also, you got the burn cards. You see what I'm saying? But what you don't realize is that they know how to set it. They know how to set it and preset it to where the burn cards help the sequence of the cards to come out in its positions and favors that they wanted to. You got to remember, master magicians know how to do the impossible with cards. That's what makes you a master magician. That's what makes you a master of cards. That's the title of a mechanic. If they didn't have the title there, it wouldn't exist. That's the beauty of becoming a fucking mechanic. A mechanic means you are a master with the cards. You know how to shuffle and deal the cards in any which way and give anybody any card you want. You are a mechanic. And poker was that next level. It was that next level in game and money to get in and tap into that bank. Because let's face it, poker is a multi-billion-dollar fucking industry. Like ever since the WSOPs of 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, everybody and their fucking mama play poker. All the college kids, they all play poker. That's where the biggest money is at. That money is there, fam. I don't watch millions and millions of dollars countlessly in front of my face. And at the end of the day, there's got to be a way to regulate that shit. They got to have a way to regulate and be able to feed those who feed them. That's the hustle. That's the hustle. And you got to be hip to that shit. You got to know what the fuck they doing. If you don't know what they doing and you don't know what's going on, you just giving them your money. Yeah, it's fucked up. Yeah, they cheating, but What do they say? They say there's no sympathy for ignorance. So if you decided to get involved with something and you was ignorant of how it goes, then you only have yourself to blame. And I just wanted to be one who would shed some light on it and be like, nah, at the end of the day, I'm going to help you to understand. Don't get involved. You feel what I'm saying? I'm going to expose what goes on. Because if you are real competitive and a real player like me, like I told you, I love poker. That's just, I'm in love with that game. Like, I love that game. But I hate all the cheating and the shady shit that goes on with the game that niggas do to get your money. That's, you know what I mean? And anybody that has a like mind ain't trying to feel nobody robbing them. You may talk that shit, talk about, oh, you're stupid, or you don't know what you're doing, or you just don't got enough skill, or you don't got enough experience. It's like, yeah, okay. Because if you came to an establishment of mine and I had some mechanics that knew how to serve your ass, and the better you are at playing, the easier it is to get your money. Because all we gotta say is, that's a bad beat, man. Bad luck happens. Sorry. Try next time. You feel me? Better luck next time. Or you could rebuy. Or you could buy back in if you feel, if you feel like you could win. Meanwhile, we laughing in the background because we like, this stupid ass, sucker ass. He don't even realize he ain't gonna never win. Because we got this shit on smash. And we know how to make it seem like you making a little progress, but you're not. We may throw you a little bit of money back, but that's just to keep you coming in because you done lost so much that you trying to get it back. You see? So at the end of the day, I gotta shed that with you. I gotta let you know, like, heads up. Heads up. Like, I don't even know. For those who ask me, where's the fairest or where spots you could play, where it ain't, all that. Honestly, I don't know. I done played in so many places and I see the same setup. It's like when you play poker and you done played so many hands, you done played millions of hands, you done played so many hands. It's like the Matrix. You start seeing the same patterns. You start seeing the same scenarios play out. And so you become advanced at correcting or being one step ahead because you've seen this happen already. You know how it's going to play out. You know where it's turning to. So you shift gears. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with me. Like, say for instance, if you get dealt king, queen, and that flop comes out all low cards, let's say 4, 7, and maybe a jack or something like that, and it's rainbow, you already in the fix. You already in the fix. You're gonna have to outplay whoever's in that hand. But I'm telling you, your chances of hitting a king or a queen is like 1%, 2%. It happens all the time. Same thing with king jack. You call king jack and all low cards hit that table, you in for it. It's either you fold right there or you're gonna have to fight that player for it. And 9 times out of 10, you're in the hand with a player who got a stack on him. And he ain't about to just let you have that fucking hand. You gotta remember, a lot of these players, their actions are like fighters. And I done fought a lot of people. Facts. I done knocked out a lot of people. I'm not trying to brag about that shit, but I'm just saying, I'm nice with my hands. I never got licensed to be a boxer, but I learned how to box. I love fighting. And they're like fighters. When they have the ground on you or they have position, they're gonna stand that ground. They're gonna keep them shots coming to you. You're not gonna just get in like that. You're not gonna just walk up to them and no. Same thing with the hands. You're not just gonna raise and take them out of the hand. That's not gonna happen. You raise and they're gonna call you. Especially if they realize that pre-flop, everything is pre-flop. If a player limps in, there's no telling what he has, so now you have to watch his mannerisms. How does he act when he has, like one player, I caught a tail on him. I knew that when he has a strong hand, He's not fidgeting. He's not messing around like he does with other hands. He got his hands over his cards and he's trying to remain solid. But when he got a bullshit hands, he's shuffling the cards while he's waiting. He's fidgeting, he's doing all kinds of stuff. These are the type of tells that great players be having. They see that pre-flop you raised high too. You raised a three bet or 4 or 5 times the bet. And they called you. And they called you because they knew you had high. They was just hoping you didn't have a pair and you hit that set on the board. But 9 times out of 10, if the blind is 200, 400, or the blind is 100 and 200, and I raise 900, 800, 1200, I'm representing ace high or king high. And if you're the type of player who play high low, you got some of them players are like that. They smart like that. They got 7-6, 7-8, 7-9 suited connector or just connector. They call you, and then all the cards hit low, and they caught one of their pairs on the board. They already know that you ain't got it, so they're just waiting. They're gonna check it down and wait and see if you're gonna. Because most people do it. They got ace king, and they fucking totally missed the flop. They got air, and they're sitting there. Like the other day, I caught somebody doing that. I called him with Jack 6, and I hit the 6 on the board, and it was all low numbers. And he just kept raising 1200. He tried to keep it consistent, 1200, 1200. I knew right there, you got ace high. And I'm gonna just allow you to do it. And then when he checked on the river, of course, I put in a bet that was like a bet that was enticing. It's not gonna chase you away. I think the bet was like something, oh yeah, I put in 725. And mind you, he's been doing 12 all day. So he called it. He called it hoping that I was representing high cards too, because I called his raise. Typically that happens. If somebody call your raise, they got high cards too. So you're just hoping that you win with ace high. He flips his ace king over and I flip my jack 6 and my 6. Everybody at the table like, what the, they're like, now how you just call that with jack 6? How you, oh, you just knew that he had, and I was like, nah, I didn't know anything. I just, you know what I mean? It was just a hunch. But I'm letting y'all know it wasn't a hunch. I watch everything you do. I'm really good at reading. I read you. The minute you come in front of me, I read from you. I watch what you do. I watch your actions. So I watched what he was doing. And I already came across the scenario too many times. Players like to do that. You got ace king, ace queen, you missed the flop, you still raising. Now, any player who's experienced and they know those scenarios, that's easy chips, that's easy money. Like, yeah, keep raising. Because all you're gonna do is feed me, and then ultimately, I might just call you all in. If you're dumb enough to call it, you out this tournament. Or you just lost all that money. It happened at the cash game too. I called the dude's high raise. He had ace queen, and I had 8-7 suited. And the board came up. The board came up 10 deuce 3, and then on the turn the 7 came. Now he raised it on the flop. He threw in a bet. I don't remember the bet, but the bet was high. I called it because I know he got high. And I'm like, all I need is to hit a low card and just dodge all the high cards, and I got you. And sure enough, the turn up a 7. I got you now. So what he does, he re-raises, right? He re-raises, and I call that raise. And we get to the river, and it's another low card. All low cards is on that table, pretty much, besides the 10. Well, I know you don't have it. So what he does, he calls me all in. So I pretend like I had to wait and decide on this shit so that players think that, I'm one of those type of players that don't really have it all together, because you got to play that. Because you never know when you're going to be in a big hand with them and they're going to recall what you did in the last big hand. So I was acting like, trying to figure out what you got. And then I called and showed him I had the 7 and he had ace queen. And I took down a massive pot. I took down I think that was like what, about 6 some change. Yeah, about 600 and some change. You see what I'm saying? So it's all about knowing, knowing players' tendencies. Everybody got tendencies at the table, and the best players hide them shits. The best players hide them tendencies. They don't keep doing the same shit over and over. And it's hard to master that because poker is a long duration game. You could be sitting at the table for 3, 4, 5 hours playing, 7, 8. You got the tournaments that are days long. So you gotta always switch gears and not become repetitive. Because when you become repetitive, the great players are looking for that. Once they see, oh, you do this on a pre-flop, you act like this on a flop, on a turn, you're the person who like to raise a lot, even though you might not have it. They call all this into, to account. And then when they got the squeeze on you and they know they got you beat, they know you bullshitting, that's a wrap. You's a dub. So look, man, that's just a little bit of information about the poker. My whole purpose of this video was to let you know the best play is like one of my commentators said, it's live. That online shit is dead. If you ain't putting no big money on there, and even if you do put big money, there's no guarantees that that site is going to accept you. They might just look at you as a meal ticket and be like, thanks for the money. That's just the shady shit. That's the world we play. That's the world we live in. So at the end of the day, live is the only way because you get to see it. And if you somebody like me and you see the funny shit, you call it out. Like next time, they already know. To be honest, I think one of the dealers, they seen one of my videos. Because every time like today when I sat down there, yeah, it's tight. But look, at the end of the day, you see it, call it out. That's it. Call it out. Don't be disrespectful on a whole nother level because you don't have to be that way. All you gotta do is know how to describe the foul play and keep it like even down the line. You call it out and you ask for fair play to take place. Fair shuffling. Do a basic organic shuffle and let me play. If that's not gonna happen, just give me my money right now because you ain't fit to fix me up no bullshit ass beat and take my money. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. And if anybody got a problem with it, you in on it. Because it's gonna be the ones who are in on it that's gonna say something. I guarantee you, when you know a nigga getting robbed and you know niggas is scheming on you, and you call it out, it's always those niggas who was down with the shit from the jump that say something like, nah, what you talking about, son? Ain't nobody trying to rob you. Ain't nobody trying this. No, nigga, don't look. Who you fooling, nigga? Please. The next word you say, you might get duffed out. Plain and simple, that's how it goes. So at the end of the day, it's the same thing in the game. Because real players who are really trying to play and earn that money and they want skill, they're gonna be the first ones to say, I agree. Just give it a basic shuffle. Don't play with the cards, man. I came here to win. I came here to play. Don't mess around. You see what I'm saying? That's how you know those ain't in it. They ain't in on this shit. And I bet you it's going to be the ones that you see there on a regular basis that is well known with everybody that has something against it. Why? And 9 times out of 10, they're the ones that got the huge stacks. You think he got a huge stack of chips just for nothing? Hell no. Hell no, he ain't just, if you watch the gameplay, now if you've been watching the way he played, and he's just been playing smart. He was in position, he had the hand, and the player tried him. He tried to outplay him, and he got rocked. That's a player who's solid. But when you see that the player made the most bogus calls, and it always goes in their favor, they always getting better, they always getting it, that's not a coincidence, fam. And I know because if you get a deck of cards and you shuffle it randomly and you play it straight out, you will not see that on a regular basis. It's gonna happen once in every, I say 10, 15, 20 hands dealt, maybe 30, maybe 40. And that's honest. And anybody who knows about the card world, know about the poker, they already know that's exactly what's gonna happen. You're gonna see that once in every 20, every 25 hands. You're gonna see that one bad beat where you had 2 pair, but he picked up the straight or whatever. It happens, bro. But you ain't gonna see that shit every fucking time. You're gonna see bad beats fucking 3, 4 times out of fucking 10 shuffles. No, you're not gonna see that shit back to back, especially for certain people. And y'all know what I'm talking about too. When you see that shit happening with certain players that just always got the fucking cooler. They always got that one hand. They always got that one up on you. Nigga, you is not that nice. And I put it, this players, to this day, I put it on it. They was talking like they was hot. I said, you know what? Me and you, let's go into the other room. I got a deck of cards in my car. I got about $700, $800, $900. We could play right now, heads up. One-on-one, heads up. Not one of these niggas took the challenge. Not one took the challenge. Not one. Why you didn't take the challenge? If you are that fucking good and you as good as you say you is, then why you won't take the challenge? You won't take the challenge because they knew. They knew off the back if they played me one-on-one where there isn't no shady shit, no rape shit going on, you will lose your fucking money. Because you see how it is playing me when there is rape shit going on. It's still hard to fucking beat me. So that's what I'm saying. Those are all signs. If it ain't gonna play you one-on-one with a regular deck of cards outside of what's going on, then you already know they in on it. And they eating. And they don't want you or anybody else coming into the establishment fucking up the way shit go. And that's just my cue. The minute niggas start going again, I already know. Thank you for telling me. I already know. My motherfucking money. Period. And there ain't been one time that I ain't never enforced me getting my shit back and I ain't get it back. There's times that I brought it out there, but I was like, yo, you know what? It is what it is. I'm just letting you know, next time it ain't gonna go down like that. But if I feel like at that moment, nah, I'm not leaving here, you gonna give me my motherfucking money or there's gonna be some problems. It's gonna be the kind of problems I don't think you really want. I get my money back. That's a fact. I get my shit back. Because niggas can say whatever, but it's in the eyes. Real recognize real. I tell you that all day, every day. I've been in too many places. I'm not about to put all my information out on live like that, but I'm just saying, I've been in so many situations. I know it. I could be with a group of dudes. I already know 2, 3, 5 minutes of being around them. I already know which ones is gonna go down for it. Especially being in a situation, I could see it in your face. I could see it in your face. It's always that look that you're gonna see. So at the end of the day, I'm just telling you, if the first person starts saying something, first person jumping out, nah, it ain't, he been dealing for years, you're gonna come and just try to change, he's in on it. He is in on it. And if everybody's quiet and ain't nobody saying anything, that's also a sign that no one is trying to implicate themselves in the situation. So it's still a good sign that fair play is going to pretty much stand on its 10 toes. And if people speak, of course, you already know. But if somebody speaks against you, you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place. I'm going to tell you right now, I also want to cover this too. Don't listen to that dumb shit about when people say, you got to have experience, it's mathematics. Mathematics, probability does play a huge role in poker, but it's not the way you think it plays a role. It plays a role combined with skill and experience of knowing the cards, the 2 cards you are dealt, and the situation that you are in, positions, percentages, and card versus card. Like if you call somebody all in and you got ace king and they got ace queen, you know you standing at 98, 97% tomato, you know you at a high percentage of winning that hand. Because if the ace come out, that person's screwed, they need running to win. It happens all the time. Somebody calls all in with ace king and you got aces, only trip kings or 2 kings on the board is gonna save you. It's got to be running for you to be saved. And it happens, but 9 times out of 10 it don't. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. Preparation and skill is how you win in poker. That's a fact. If you know when to raise, when to call, when to fold, and you got a tell, you got readings on players. A lot has to do with the readings. I done watched players act like they don't have anything, or just act uninterested in the hand. And the player who didn't have nothing either, he's seen it, so he raised. And the dude let it go. He's like, yeah, I'm not gonna call with that. That's not the point. The point is that you don't give away no body tails or anything. You keep it straight all the way down into the last fucking minute, because those chips make a difference in the end. Just like with players with me, they don't never hear me say, "No, I wasn't going." Nah. When I'm in the hand, my shades is on, and my hand is covering my mouth, and I got the same posture every time. When I fix my cards, I look at my cards and I slide them under my chest, whether they good, terrible, or they okay, it don't matter. I don't give you no signs of anything. If I don't like the hand, I fold. That's it. I take the cards and I spin them on the table. That's it. That's it. And I wait for the next hand. I got the same posture. Listening to I'm not telling you I wouldn't do this. I'm not telling you I wouldn't do that. Nah, the only time I give a little bit of explanation is when players are trying to find out how I was able to make a call or how I was able to win a pot when the situations was looking critical. I'm not gonna lie, I guide them, but I guide them into misguidance. I'm not gonna lie. Because if you let them know how you actually operate all the time, they're gonna use it against you. That's a no-brainer. So yeah, I'm gonna guide you and tell you the initial part, but then overall, you're gonna be left in the dark. You're gonna think one thing, and so when that opportunity comes again, you might act on it. And when you do, you find out that's not what really goes on with me. I caught players like that left and right, and honestly, that's how I was catching a lot of bad beats at the casinos. After winning so much money and winning tournaments, D-stack tournaments, and they was watching the way I was playing, that's when the fucking chainsaw came in. And I don't care what you say, it happens to all great players that play the game. And it all depends on how much money you spending. Sometimes it ain't even about the money. It's just about the fact that they see that you're that good and they know that you can be the greatest. And they're jealous of that. And so they cut you, they stop you. And you can say, nah, you just being paranoid. Everybody does that in just a small sentence. So what are you talking about? People do that, best friends do that to each other. It's done on an everyday basis. So don't tell me it wouldn't be done on a bigger scale versus a lower scale. It's done on a regular basis. You see somebody eating and somebody really good at something, and you got the control, and you can change that. You going to change. Same thing at a job. You see a worker is on point with everything, and if he continues that pace, he might end up taking your job or being in a position underneath you to where he could take your job after a while. But if you insecure and you jealous and you envy of that, what you do? You cut him off from that. You start putting him in places that he don't function at. You start making it much harder for him when he comes to work or when she comes to work. I've seen it too many times. So for those who might come out and say some shit like that, stop it right now, fam. Just put that shit in your pocket. Nobody want to hear it. Because it's done all the time. When people see that you are the great at something and you are rising to a stardom level, and they don't think that you should be that. They don't think you should be a star. They don't like something about you. Maybe it's your hair. Maybe it's your shirt. Maybe it's your hat. Maybe it's anything. Maybe it's just the way you act. Maybe you got an arrogance and a cockiness about you that you don't know, but they see and they don't like it. You're cut. And don't tell me, because it happens all the time. So at the end of the day, it happens to the best of us. And it happens to me a lot because I know so much. And when I play, it shows. And I don't know what it could be. I mean, hey, it might be the fact that I'm just the way I am. It's not accepted with them. And I accept that. That's cool. It is. It's cool. I accept that. I ain't even gonna trip off of it. If anything, I'm gonna find ways to get into establishments that I'm comfortable with and I know it's legit and I have a fair chance. That's just that. Keep it moving. That's it. And continue to keep positive energy and thoughts around me all the time. And things will work out fine. That's it. But look, man, stay safe out there. You know, this was a long journey right here, and this was a lot of information, but it was needed. This is the kind of information that if you listen, you're going to avoid a lot of shit. Because you're going to see it coming, because you're going to remember I said it. Like, sometimes it's not about the messenger, it's about the message. That's a fact. And I take that to heart a lot. I hear somebody saying something, they just pulled up and they start saying something. I ain't looking at who's saying it too tough. I'm listening to what he's saying. I'm like, he just said such and such was such and now such and such happened. And so if that has anything to do with the way I'm moving or can put me in any kind of situation, I'm already making plans to make sure that that doesn't happen. And this is the same thing. If you are a poker player, and there's too many poker players out there, don't play games. And don't act like what's being said is nothing to take serious, because it is. You should take it very serious, because you could find yourself, broke. Find yourself really in a fix. What if you really need it? What if you in a situation where you really need to make that money and you can't really hit the block and hustle because the block is hot? Or you in a place where you know too many snitches. You start doing something, somebody gonna tell on you and act like they don't know nothing about it. And now you in a fix. But you was just trying to feed your daughter, or you was just trying to feed your son, you trying to feed your family. You ain't selling because you want to kill somebody with a drug. You trying to eat. And the money's right there. You feel what I'm saying? The same thing. It's the same thing. You gotta just know, you gotta know what's going on and take advice and sidestep all that shit. And I'm telling you right now, it's a hustle. You go up in there and you trying to eat. Your lights might be getting cut next week. Who knows? I don't know. Who knows? You could be, your car could have broke down and you need that car to get to work. You don't have nothing that's gonna move fast enough for you to get it, but you nice with the car, you nice with the game. And so you decide to pull up and do your thing. Now you know what to look for. Now you know what to look for. Look for them motherfuckers that do a lot of spaghetti shit with their hands in those cars. Because those are the ones that's fixing you up. You see that? That's a flag. That's a flag. You either speak on it or get up out of there. That's it. That's it. Speak on it or get up out of there. But if you don't do neither one, man, you just gave your money away. Stay safe out there. Stay away from negativity. Believe in yourself when nobody else do. And just keep focused. Stay in your lane, and it's always going to work out well. Like, share, subscribe. Most importantly, you know how I say it all the time. Take something from this, learn, and just be better as a person. And good luck to all players. Rolling.